Let me ask you something. When was the last time you felt truly relaxed? Not distracted, not overwhelmed, and not thinking about what you should be doing?
That's a tough question. Honestly, I feel like my brain is always running a to-do list in the background.
Exactly. Now, Alex, look around you right now. How many things do you see? How many objects are on your desk? How many notifications are on your phone?
Well, I see my coffee cup, a stack of papers, my laptop, two notebooks, and my phone just buzzed.
Most of us don't realize this, but our stress doesn't come only from work or relationships. Sometimes it comes from the things we own. Too many choices, too much noise, too much to manage.
So my messy desk is actually making me stressed?
It is. Today, we are going to talk about why owning less can quietly reduce stress in your life. Welcome to Sunny English Bite. This podcast is for people who want to improve their English and their thinking at the same time.
Hi everyone, I'm Alex. I'm here to learn along with you.
You don't need to understand every word. Just listen, reflect, and take what you need. Let's start today's conversation. Alex, most people think stress comes from big problems, a difficult job, money worries, or uncertain relationships.
Right, those are the obvious ones.
But there's a low-level stress we rarely talk about. It doesn't scream, but it quietly drains your energy every day. We call this visual noise.
Visual noise? Can you give me an example?
Sure. Think about your closet. When you open it, is it packed full? Do you have to fight through clothes to find a shirt?
Oh, absolutely. Every morning I stare at a full closet and think, I have nothing to wear.
It's the same with a cluttered kitchen counter. When you go to cook, you first have to clear a space. The visual chaos makes it harder to feel creative and motivated. You're more likely to just order takeout because the thought of cooking in that environment is exhausting.
That's so true. My counter is covered in mail and appliances I barely use, and I order takeout more than I'd like to admit.
Think about it. That streaming service you're subscribed to but don't watch, it's asking for your money each month. That social media feed, it's asking for your time and emotional energy. Even your video game library with dozens of unplayed games can feel like a list of chores, creating guilt instead of joy. That moment, that is stress. Deciding what to wear from a full closet, scrolling endlessly because your phone feels crowded, cleaning a space that never feels done. These aren't emergencies, but together they create a constant background noise in your mind.
Is there actual proof that this stresses us out, or is it just a feeling?
That's a great question. Actually, neuroscientists at Princeton University found that physical clutter in your environment competes for your attention. It overloads your visual cortex.
Wait, so my brain is actually tired from looking at my mess?
Exactly. Your brain is constantly scanning the mess, trying to process it. It limits your ability to focus. Minimalism isn't about having nothing, it's about reducing this noise so your brain can rest. Here is a concept I want you to sit with. Everything you own asks something of you.
What do you mean? My coffee mug isn't asking me anything?
Isn't it? It asks to be washed, it asks to be put away. If you break it, it asks to be replaced. Some things ask for your time, some ask for maintenance.
I see. Even things I like come with responsibility.
Precisely. Think about a musical instrument you bought but never play.
Oh, my guitar. It's sitting in the corner gathering dust.
And every time you look at it, what does it say to you?
It says, Alex, why aren't you practicing? You wasted money on me.
Exactly. A book asks to be read. Apps ask to be updated. When you own less, you receive fewer requests from your environment. Your brain gets more space.
This is great for physical stuff, Sonny. But as we were talking, I realized my phone is buzzing and my laptop has a dozen tabs open. What about digital clutter? Is that a thing too? So minimalism reduces stress, not just emotionally, but cognitively.
Yes, you simply have fewer things pulling at your attention.
Okay, Sonny, I'm convinced. This all makes perfect sense. But hearing it also feels huge. Where do you even start? Do I have to throw everything away and live in an empty white room?
Not at all. That's a common misconception. The goal isn't deprivation, it's intention. So let's make it practical. Let's start with something simple. It's a technique I call the container method.
The container method. Okay, I'm listening.
Yes, you pick one small contained space. Not your whole room, not your whole apartment. Just one drawer. It could be your nightstand, the junk drawer in your kitchen, or even just the glove box in your car.
Okay, a drawer. I can handle a drawer. That feels manageable.
Exactly. The key is to start with a win. So you take everything out of that drawer. Everything. Wipe it clean, then you only put back the items that are absolutely essential or that you genuinely love and use. You'll be surprised how much doesn't go back in.
And the rest, the random collection of pens that don't work and old receipts, what do I do with that pile?
This is the next step. You create 3 piles. Keep, which goes back in the drawer neatly. Donate or sell for things that are still useful but not for you. And trash. But I'll add a 4th pile for beginners, which is the most powerful one. It's the maybe box.
A maybe box. I like the sound of that. It has less pressure.
Precisely. For sentimental items or things you aren't sure you're ready to part with, put them in the box. Seal it, write today's date on it, and put it away in a closet or storage. If you haven't needed to open that box in 6 months, you can probably let it go without ever looking inside again.
That's brilliant. It's like a buffer for your emotions. It completely deals with that what if I need it later anxiety that always stops me.
It does. It's about making small, sustainable changes. Once you feel the peace and clarity from that one clean drawer, you'll feel naturally motivated to tackle a bookshelf, then maybe a closet. It creates a positive feedback loop.
So, to recap the main points, our stuff creates visual noise that literally tires our brains out.
Correct.
And every single object we own makes a small demand on our time and mental energy.
The hidden requests. Yes.
And to start fixing it, we don't need to become extreme minimalists. Just pick one drawer and use the container method with that genius maybe box idea.
You've got it. It's not about owning nothing. It's about making sure that everything you choose to own serves a purpose or brings you genuine joy. It's about reclaiming your space, both physically and mentally, from the chaos.
I'm actually going to tackle my desk drawer after this, the one with all the old cables for phones I don't even own anymore, and about a dozen dried up pens.
That's the perfect place to start. And for our listeners, we challenge you to do the same. Pick one small space this week and see how it feels. A drawer, a shelf, your car's center console. Start small and feel the difference. Alex, let me ask you something. Have you ever had one of those weeks where you felt like you were sprinting from Monday to Friday, completely exhausted, but when you look back, you can't point to a single significant thing you accomplished?
Oh, you mean like last week and the week before that? Yeah, absolutely. I spent all Saturday organizing my garage. I was busy for 8 hours straight, but at the end of it, my life wasn't really any better. It was just tidier.
That's exactly what we're talking about today. It's a paradox of modern life, the feeling of being constantly busy but achieving less. And we believe the culprit isn't a lack of time management or productivity hacks. It's something much more fundamental, the trap of stuff.
Stuff? You mean like physical clutter?
That's a huge part of it, but it's more than that. It's the physical items in our homes, the digital files on our computers, the endless subscriptions, even the mental baggage we carry around. Today, we're going to explore how this stuff creates a constant state of busyness and what we can do to escape the hamster wheel. So let's define what we mean by stuff. On the surface, it's the obvious things. The boxes in the attic, the closet packed so tight you can't fit another hanger.
Right, the I might need the someday pile.
Exactly. But in the digital age, it's also the 10,000 unread emails in your inbox. It's the 50 open tabs in your browser. It's the camera roll with 30,000 photos you never look at.
Wow, okay, you're calling me out now. My computer desktop looks like a yard sale. I tell myself I know where everything is, but honestly, finding a file is a 10-minute archaeological dig. I actually tried a digital declutter last month. I went through my phone and deleted all the apps I hadn't used in 6 months. It was surprisingly hard. I had this weird, what if I need it anxiety. But after I did it, my phone felt quieter, less demanding. I hadn't realized how much visual noise those little icons were creating. I actually tried a digital declutter last month. I went through my phone and deleted all the apps I hadn't used in 6 months. It was surprisingly hard. I had this weird, what if I need it anxiety. But after I did it, my phone felt quieter, less demanding. I hadn't realized how much visual noise those little icons were creating.
And that digital clutter is sneakier than physical clutter, isn't it? It doesn't take up physical space, so we let it pile up endlessly. But our brains still perceive it as a massive untended to-do list. Every unread email is a potential obligation. Every saved article is a task we've given our future selves. And that's the key. Neuroscientists talk about a concept called cognitive load. Every single object you own, physical or digital, takes up a tiny bit of mental real estate. It requires a decision. Should I keep this? Where do I put it? Does it need to be cleaned, updated, or fixed?
It's like a background app running on your phone, constantly draining the battery.
That's a perfect analogy. Individually, each item is insignificant, but collectively, they create a low-grade, constant hum of mental noise. This is the foundation of that drained, overwhelmed feeling. It's not just in your head, it's a direct result of your environment.
So our stuff is literally making us tired? That's a wild thought.
It is, and it goes even deeper than just mental fatigue, which brings us to the emotional side of it. Now, let's talk about something a little more uncomfortable, the emotional weight of stuff.
The emotional weight. You mean like sentimental items, things from my childhood or something?
Yes, that's part of it, but I'm also talking about the negative ones. Think about the gifts you've received that you don't like, but you feel guilty throwing them away because someone you care about gave them to you.
Oh yeah, I have a sweater from an aunt that is just not me at all. It sits in a drawer, and every time I see it, I feel a little twinge of guilt.
Exactly. Or what about expensive items you regret buying? That treadmill that's now a laundry rack, the fancy kitchen gadget you used once.
That's really common. We keep things because we spent money on them. In economics, I think they call that the sunk cost fallacy, right? You've already invested in it, so you feel like you can't give it up.
That's a perfect term to use, Alex. The sunk cost fallacy. It's a powerful psychological trap. We think, I spent $500 on this coat, so I must keep it, even if we never ever wear it. But our brains don't see a coat. When you look at that object, your brain doesn't see stuff. Your brain sees a story of guilt, regret, pressure, a reminder of a past mistake.
So keeping it is actually hurting us more than letting it go. The financial cost is already gone, but we're paying a new emotional cost every single day just by having it around.
Precisely. The path forward, what some call minimalism, isn't about owning nothing. It's about asking one incredibly honest question for every item you're unsure about. Does this object support the life I'm living now?
The life I'm living now, not who I used to be.
Right. Not the life you planned 5 years ago, not the person you were in college, but who you are and who you want to be today. If it doesn't serve that person, it's not an asset, it's an anchor. And these anchors, this emotional and cognitive weight, lead us directly to the biggest trap of modern life. We feel busy all the time, but if we actually look at what we are busy with, the picture changes.
Yeah, that's the feeling I mentioned earlier. I feel like I'm running around all day, but at the end of it, I haven't moved forward on my big, important goals. I haven't written that chapter or planned that trip.
That's the trap, because often we are not busy achieving our goals. We are busy maintaining our things.
Maintaining things? What do you mean by that?
I mean, organizing the clutter, cleaning the stuff, searching for the misplaced item, updating the software on our gadgets, repairing the broken thing, researching a replacement for the other broken thing. It's an endless cycle that creates a powerful feeling of busyness without any real achievement.
It feels productive in the moment.
It does, because you're taking off tasks, but you're just running on a hamster wheel of maintenance.
Wow, a hamster wheel of maintenance. That hits hard. That's my weekend in a nutshell. I spend Saturday organizing my garage, fixing a leaky faucet, updating my phone, and I feel productive, but I didn't actually create anything new. I didn't learn a new skill or have a meaningful experience.
Exactly. You were just managing your inventory. When you own less, you drastically reduce the time you spend on maintenance. You reclaim those hours. You stop managing your past, and you finally have the time and energy to start creating your future. So, how do we stop the wheel? How do we get off this hamster wheel of maintenance? Here's a useful way to think about it. Minimalism isn't a rigid lifestyle of owning 100 things, it's a filter.
A filter, like a coffee filter, it stops the bad stuff from getting through?
In a way, yes. Before something new enters your life, whether it's a purchase, a freebie, a new app, or even a social commitment, you just pause. You run it through the filter by asking, do I really need this? What will this cost me?
Right, and not just in money.
Precisely, what will this cost me in time, in mental space, in energy?
That energy cost is so key. We usually only look at the price tag. I bought a cheap smart home gadget once, and it must have cost me 10 hours in setup, troubleshooting, and updates. The financial cost was low, but the energy cost was huge.
That's a perfect example. This filter protects your future self from clutter and obligation. Psychologists have a term for what this helps prevent: decision fatigue.
Decision fatigue. Like when you're so tired at the end of the day, you can't even decide what to watch on TV?
That's it. We only have a finite amount of good decision-making energy each day. When you have fewer things, you make fewer, small, meaningless decisions every day. What should I wear? Becomes simple with a smaller wardrobe. Where are my keys? Is easy when your surfaces are clear.
That makes so much sense. You save your brain power for the things that actually matter.
Exactly. And over time, life begins to feel calmer and more spacious. Not because nothing is happening, but because fewer things are competing for your attention. You're no longer buried under the weight of your own stuff.
So the takeaway is be a gatekeeper for your own life. Be more intentional about what you let in.
That's it perfectly. It's not about deprivation. It's about liberation. Liberating your time, your energy, and your focus so you can direct them towards what truly brings you joy and fulfillment. It's about achieving more by owning less. If you're listening and thinking, this sounds nice, but I can't change my whole life.
Yeah, it sounds overwhelming to clean out my whole house.
Good news. You don't need to. Minimalism works best in small, quiet steps. One drawer, one app, one habit.
Just one drawer, I can do that.
Exactly. And you might be surprised by what happens next. That one clean drawer can create a ripple effect. We were talking about the ripple effect. Let's dive a bit deeper into that. Once you've decluttered a drawer, you might feel a sense of accomplishment. That feeling is powerful. It can motivate you to move on to another area. That's so true. I remember when I first started decluttering my apartment, I began with my bookshelf. It was overflowing with books I'd already read or knew I'd never get to. As I started sorting through them, I felt a surprising sense of clarity. It was like I was making room for new ideas and experiences. That small win gave me the motivation to tackle my closet next, which was a much bigger challenge.
That makes sense. So cleaning one drawer, it isn't just about the drawer, it's about building a new habit. I remember when I first started decluttering my closet. It felt like a huge task, but I started with just one shelf. I took everything off, wiped it clean, and only put back the clothes I truly loved. It was a small step, but it made me feel so much better, and it motivated me to tackle the rest of the closet. That makes sense. So cleaning one drawer isn't just about the drawer, it's about building a new habit. I can see that. It's like a small win that built momentum. But what about the stuff we don't see? I mean, my phone is a mess. I have thousands of photos, hundreds of apps I don't use, and my inbox is overflowing. Does minimalism apply to our digital lives too? That makes sense. So cleaning one drawer isn't just about the drawer, it's about building a new habit. I can see that. It's like a small win that builds momentum. But what about the stuff we don't see? I mean, my phone is a mess. I have thousands of photos, hundreds of apps I don't use, and my inbox is overflowing. Does minimalism apply to our digital lives too?
Exactly. It's about aligning your spending with your values. And when you have less stuff, you also spend less on maintenance, storage, and insurance. It all adds up. Plus, you can sell some of the items you declutter and make some extra money. Another idea for sentimental items like photos and letters is to digitize them. You can scan them and save them on your computer or in the cloud. This way, you can preserve the memories without the physical clutter. It also makes them easier to share with family and friends. That's a powerful realization, Alex, and it brings up another important aspect of minimalism, its impact on the environment. When we consume less, we generate less. We reduce our carbon footprint and contribute to a more sustainable future.
I'm starting to see how minimalism is about more than just having a tidy house. It seems like it can affect your finances too. Is that right? I can see that. It's like a small win that built momentum. But what about the stuff we don't see? I mean, my phone is a mess. I have thousands of photos, hundreds of apps I don't use, and my inbox is overflowing. Does minimalism apply to our digital lives too?
It happens to all of us. The key is to be mindful. Just as you'd think twice before bringing a new item into your home, be selective about the digital content you consume. Another tip is to set specific times for checking email and social media. This can prevent you from getting sucked into a digital black hole. Try the batching technique. Instead of checking your email every time a new message comes in, set aside 2 or 3 specific times a day to check and respond to emails. This can save you a lot of time and mental energy.
That's a great tip. I'm definitely going to try that. So we've talked about physical and digital clutter. What about mental clutter? Does that fit into minimalism too? That's a relief to hear. I often feel guilty if I'm not up to date on everything, but you're right, it's exhausting. But what about sentimental items? I have a box of old letters and photos. I don't look at them often, but I can't imagine getting rid of them.
That's a good question. Some things I keep out of guilt, I think, like gifts I don't really like. That makes sense. So cleaning one drawer isn't just about the drawer. It's about building a new habit.
I can see that. It's like a small win that builds momentum. But what about the stuff we don't see? I mean, my phone is a mess. I have thousands of photos, hundreds of apps I don't use, and my inbox is overflowing. Does minimalism apply to our digital lives too? That's a great idea. I've noticed that I often pick up my phone without even thinking about it. It's become a habit, and I get caught up in scrolling through social media, and before I know it, an hour has passed.
Stress doesn't disappear overnight, but it softens when your environment supports you instead of demanding from you. Before you go, think about one idea from today's episode that stayed with you. You don't need to change everything, just notice it.
If this conversation was helpful, you can find more episodes here on Sunny English Bite. Don't forget to subscribe.
Thanks for listening. I'll talk to you again soon.